Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another deadline stream. It is game week 32. It is free hit week for myself and for a lot of you as well. My free hit is active. We'll go through my draft. My draft is not locked in yet. There is still things that could happen, still changes that I can make, still early team news that we might get between now and the deadline as well. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you all. Wherever you are watching from, thank you very much for joining. Nice to see so many of you in already. Of course, some of you sneak peek when I posted it on Twitter, but also pressed the wrong button. The Bournemouth shirt is out. It also, can't turn, also has a certain Dominic Solanke on the back of it as well. But before we do the usual questions, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you have liked the stream just to get us started. I also have these fun little things. Which one should I? Oh, wow. That's exciting. But yeah, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you are. Say hello in the chat. Like the stream if you haven't already. And then we will get into all the usual rounds of hellos and all that good stuff as well. I've got my liquids, I've got my snacks if I need them. We are ready for this stream. So Eddie, Elian, Tarek, Luca, Marek, Manchester Mavericks, Sir Scotty, Alfie, Mr. Was Up, Finn, Ivan from Texas, Ronnie, Jens, Gavin, Karate, Frederick, Cheekster, Romange, Cine, Lives, Jerry, BKG, Kabir. Good afternoon to all the members in the chat as well today. Nice to see all of you in as well. Dan, hello from Dublin. Hello. I did enjoy my time from Dublin when I went there last year. Had a very nice time. Supreme, Hadzin, Musa, Willie Chambers, Ryan, Junie Gaming, everyone else, Preb, Sam, Luke, Himal, Sihab, Stevo. How are you all doing? Nice to see you all in. Again, we are ready for this stream. It's going to be a crazy one. I think we all know it's going to be a crazy one. A lot of people with teams that are not locked in yet, including myself. My team is not locked in yet. My team is far from locked in. Plus, we are hoping potentially for a little bit of early Arsenal team news. Of course, Arsenal play tonight. It is a Friday evening deadline. So we have that game tonight, and we're hoping potentially to hear a little bit of news on Arsenal, particularly around if Leandro Trossard starts, and if so, who he's going to start in front of if he does end up starting in that Arsenal lineup this evening. Thank you very much for the super chat, James. Firmino injuries, Gakpo starts 100%. Well, I don't have team news, so I can't confirm to you that Gakpo is definitely going to start, but I think he will. He's in my free hit draft, and I'd be very, very surprised if he ends up coming out of that draft. So yeah, I think Gakpo will start. I think Firmino being out does help Gakpo a little bit. I do think it boosts his potential numbers. So I look at the likes of Jota, Darwin rotating that left-hand side. Diaz came on for Salah. Diaz could even come on for the other one and Salah stays on. But yes, the stream is laggy for you. It shouldn't be. I'm not dropping any frames. All the quality I put back to normal. So if everyone else could just let me know that the stream is fine, that'd be great. But everything looks okay on my end. This is... Go on, I mean, you're going to see my room, but it had to be. It had to be. Had to be done. It had to be done. What a guy. And anyone asking if he's going to be in my free hit team, I think it would be blasphemy if I decided to go and take out Dominic Solanke. But there are already 1,000 of you in here. Of course, let's do what we normally do, which is a quick round of questions before the more people join, to get you guys who are in here early committed, to get your questions answered live. For what it's worth, as an Arsenal fan, I think Trossard, you think Mikel would start Trossard and Jorginho. I posted I thought Trossard would start on Twitter, and did my stream just lag? I don't know quite what's going on. I think YouTube's got problems. Lag, just started lagging. But I didn't drop frames. God, what is going on? It's back, but I don't quite know what happened. I don't quite know what happened there. Buffering. You're fine, I'm back. I don't quite know what happened. But anyway, we'll do some questions. Basically, when it lags, it normally... So you've got two things at the bottom where it says your internet speed and then it says dropped frames. Dropped frames is normally when it lags, which happens when your internet speed drops. But internet speed just went to 0. And it didn't say I dropped any frames, but internet speed was just nothing. But anyway. Cool. So pick 2 of Trippier, Maddison, Ayew, Anderson and Mitchell. I know Ayew's underlying numbers are good, but Ayew is never going to get recommended by me. To be honest, out of those, I'd probably go Trippier, Maddison, to be honest. I quite like Maddison this week. I don't, a lot of us have been burnt by Maddison, but looking at the where he's likely to play in that Leicester lineup, I don't hate him as an option this week. Personally prefer Isaac over Slanky just because you're backing Newcastle over Spurs. I don't dislike the Isaac pick. I look at the games where I'm expecting a lot of goals, and that's partly why there's a few decisions on my free hit that I have made the way that I have, is that I think Harry Kane might score, right? I think there's an okay chance that Ivan Toney might score as well. But I am picking strikers in particular, goal scorers, that I think have the ability to haul, which makes the ability for your free hit to go very well, right? I think Harry Kane will score. I think Isaac might score. I think Toney might score. But I look at my front three and think, if there's going to be strikers who score and get an assist and all of that good stuff as well, I think these guys maybe have a little bit of a better chance of going and doing that, which is why those are the ones that have made it into my draft. 11 players, -4 hit. I got Gakpo, Trent, White. Thoughts? If you're not on free hit and you manage to get out 11 players this week with just a -4, I think you're in a really strong position. So yeah, struggling whether to play Maddison or Eze, also whether to play 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 on free hit. I don't think there's nearly enough defenders to go and play a back 4 on your free hit. I know people are starting to throw Arsenal defenders in there, double Liverpool defence if that is the case as well, but I don't think there's enough good defenders to be playing a back 4 this week. And money's not an issue, right? It's not like you're needing to play those cheap defenders to get a team out. My free hit is so template. Yeah, I mean, Castagna's not in many, but apart from that... I think actually Solanke will end up being in less free hits than we think he is. I think he'll be in a lot of Twitter free hits, but I think generally his ownership will be lower than we're expecting this week. Klopp said there'll be rotation for the Forest game. He didn't actually say that. What he said was he's got 5 forwards. They will, over the next few weeks, they'll all get minutes effectively. But they've had a week off for this one. I don't necessarily think this is the week where they're going to get rotation. Plus, when I look at who I think is likely to rotate, I do think Jota and Darwin are likely to rotate the most. And that could happen this weekend, which is why I wouldn't pick Jota if I was on a free hit. I also don't think Luis Diaz is ready to start yet. So if Darwin's going to come in, I think he probably comes in for Jota, who is most recently back from injury. So should you play Tarkowski or Totti for Wolves? Who does Everton have? Palace away. Probably Totti. I think that Palace-Wolves game will be quite cagey. You want to be a little bit different. What do I think of starting a midfield 5? Midfield 5 looks nice. You don't have any second Liverpool in there. I prefer Gakpo over Bowen, but I imagine it's because you're playing double Liverpool defence. I also prefer Saka over Odegaard, given that Saka's likely to... since Arteta told us that Saka's going to be keeping penalties. So, am I annoyed with Chelsea? I've given up on Chelsea this season. I'll go and watch them and put on a brave face, but I've sort of passed the point with Chelsea of worrying about what this season is gonna what the season is gonna bring. So we'll see next season. We seem to have said that we're not going to sign the ex-Bayern Munich goalkeeper, but ex-Bayern Munich manager even. But I don't necessarily think that's such a bad thing. I was thinking he's fine, maybe the best of a bad bunch, but it doesn't necessarily mean that much, to be honest. If Jesus is out today, can you show us how you will line up, please? What if Saka or Martinelli miss out? Who is the best replacement? Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. Trossard to start. I think he might, but I don't know who for. Saka has something to prove after last game. I'm pretty certain Saka will start. Am I still in the FPL Cup? You're out. I'm out, and I didn't even qualify for my own cup. The qualifying week, I didn't score enough points, so I didn't even make it into my own cup, which is great. I'd like to know what my exit strategy, Martinelli, Jesus, Saka is benched. Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. Is Tony not better than Solanke this week? Again, it's just, I think Tony might have is a good chance of scoring, but I look at the teams where I'm expecting a lot of goals, and I don't necessarily think I see Brentford scoring maybe 3 goals. What are the chances of Bournemouth maybe score more than 2 goals? I think that is higher. So I'm going with the Hall potential. Listen, if you've got Tony in your team, great. I think he could do well this week. But Villa defensively are good. Villa defensively are good. Eze over Solanke. The Crystal Palace midfielder numbers are actually not that as good as you might think. So let's get up. What is going on? Let me close some tabs. And then, transfers. Cool. So, again, if no one's realised, I'm not a big stats guy. As someone people who might have watched me for a while know. But the XG, XA numbers on here are really useful just to check before you go and buy someone. And like Eze's numbers, he's put up just over, so that what's that, 1.5 in the past 3 games, and he's got 4 returns. That's not great. He's massively overperformed his numbers. Against Southampton when he scored twice, 0.4 XG is not great. Harry, am I 263rd rank overall? Yeah, people. Yes, I am. Yeah. People are unsure. I can overall rank 263 overall points, 2,174. Hoping for a green arrow again this week on free hit, but I think it's going to be a lot harder than people think it is to get a green arrow on free hit this week, just because of the amount of people that are going to be playing it this week. Yes, it is a Bournemouth shirt. I'm sorry, but it had to happen. For all of the stuff that I thought was going to be the worst game week of my season, and then Solanke outscoring basically every rank threat to me combined. There was also, because it's this season's shirt, they were cheap everywhere as well. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. Apologies if it offends anyone, but no free hit. Kanate or Zuma or Robinson. I'd go Kanate. It does block a Liverpool spot, but variance, let's get it. Sometimes you've got to accept it. I was lucky, and I'm going to be the first person to tell you all that I was lucky last week, but sometimes you gotta ride that wave. Eze or Ayew, I'm not going to recommend Ayew. I understand the underlying numbers for him are really good, but he's one of those players, the opposite to Son, right? He can have great underlying numbers, but I just think he's not a good finisher. So he can have good underlying numbers, but Dom Solanke used to be a Scouse. Now he's got a seaside house, 20 million down the drain. Dom Solanke scores again. I'm taking a screenshot of that because if he scores again this weekend, I'm posting a video of me singing that somewhere. Dom Solanke used to be Scouse. Now he's got a seaside house, 20 million down the drain. Dom Solanke scores again. Someone sent me something like that, but it wasn't the full one. Gakpo or Martinelli. If I was buying one for the long term, I'd buy Martinelli. If I was on a free hit, I'd probably go Gakpo. But I want both, to be honest. Thanks for all the content this year. No worries. Glad you've all enjoyed it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Is Jota a good option over Gakpo, Jota or Darwin? I wouldn't be picking that spot. I wouldn't be trying to predict which of those two start, to be honest. I'd rather Gakpo, because if we get up, let me get up Sofa Score, and let me get that game up. So Klopp, if you watch Klopp's press conference in full today, he talks a lot about the need for his players to press. And he basically spends a lot of time actually talking about Darwin and that he's been good scoring goals this season, but he's not been that great at other points. However, if we look at, Jota got an 8.7, but passing accuracy, 67%. He also, possession lost. This guy lost the ball 19 times. Salah lost it a lot as well, to be fair. But there's no one who's going to replace Salah. Jota losing the ball 19 times is not great. Is my team locked in? No, it's not. But yeah, it means I probably wouldn't want to predict Jota. For the super chat, similar teams. You've got Maddison over Gakpo, Jota over Solanke. Thoughts? Again, my thoughts there are on Jota that I'm so confused. Why does it keep dropping? It drops for 5 seconds and then comes back. Yeah, good now. It's not ideal though, is it? Yeah, so my thoughts on Jota is that I find it hard to predict who's going to start, so I wouldn't be picking either of them. But I'll have to check the stream stuff afterwards. There's not much I can really do. I have to restart my Wi-Fi, but I'm not doing that mid-stream. Yeah, literally in a couple of seconds. Fine. I think it's my Wi-Fi because it's not the stream. It's not like my stream and stuff. Anyway, if you haven't liked the stream as well, that would be fantastic. Scoutcast had some problem with starting stream too. I don't think it's... I don't know. Wolves have been scoring well recently. Yeah, but, I mean, they haven't, right? Let's go and get Wolves up as well. Let's get their results. So why Castagna, right? Well, so... they scored once against... Oh, that's a while ago. They scored twice against Brentford. But their stats from that game... Where do I get stats? They only put up 0.7 XG. And then they also scored against Chelsea, where they put up not much XG. Again, they scored a worldie. Against Forest, they scored again from 0.49 XG. So they're not really putting out any sort of good numbers, is the only thing. So, yeah. Isaac or Solanke? Well, Solanke's in my team. For what it's worth, Raptor is lagging a little, just like you. It's weird. It feels like it's YouTube. But it feels weird that they'd have that, but... trust me, Jota's going to get a double digit. He could do great, right? But I like Gakpo, and without Firmino in there, he might get 90 minutes, which again is always a boost. Whereas if Jota starts, Darwin on for Jota is going to happen. So, whereas Luis Diaz could go on for Salah, which is what he did last game, and then on the other side, Jota and Darwin rotating. So what's the plan for those that aren't using a free hit and who to go for? This isn't rotating, is it? Let's get that going. Thoughts on Iheanacho punt? I think he starts, and if you're really chasing, he was one of my good differentials for this week. And if you watched my free hit draft video from Wednesday, I talk about Iheanacho in there, and that actually I think he's quite a good pick this week if you are really chasing. Raptors going with Jota. I don't think he's going Solanke though. I don't think he's going with Solanke. There's already screenshots on Twitter of my face. Gosh. You have Billing in your starting 11. So I also spoke about him in that video. I quite like him. If he scores, he's likely to... There's often bonus points come with his goals. So I don't hate that at all. I quite like Billing as a pick. Do I think Jota starts tomorrow? I think he probably does. My prediction is that he does, but... What's the plan for those that aren't using a free hit and who to go for? Liverpool assets become top buys for me this week. Let me put those on for slightly longer. Yeah, they become sort of more priority buys for me this week. Do I think Jota starts tomorrow? Yeah, I do. Moreno over Castagna, surely. So without Harvey Barnes, I think Leicester might play a back five, which makes Castagna a good option because he's then likely to be at wing back. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, just getting Twitter open on my other screen. Just in case anything gets leaked on... Anything on Arsenal. Sorry, that's what I'm checking. Nothing as of yet. I've got a few people who said they will DM me if anything comes out. But looks like we are good. Why Gaeta? Well, Gaeta was pictured in training on Thursday, but they've said that he's not back yet. So I'll probably end up changing him to someone else. Yeah, I mean, I probably will. I don't know who I can get. I was going to go, do you know who I quite fancied? I might put like David Raya in, because I think... Cool. A brief talk on new Spurs, please. Well, we don't know quite what we're going to get from Spurs at the weekend. Looks like Lenglet might be available, so they might stick with a back five. They've been very iffy, though. Harry Kane's positioning has not been great, and that's part of the reason I've not got Kane. A, his positioning has not been amazing, and B, again, like I said, I'm trying to focus on players that I think have the ability to haul this weekend and get a lot of points, and I don't think Harry Kane's one of them. Do I think he can score? Yeah. Do I think Tony can score? Yeah. But I think they're going to hoard. I think they're going to score 2+ goals with the fixtures that they've got. Like, probably not. So, yeah, that's the reasoning that I've gone with it. I also basically have got Trippier in my team because I like a lot of you. I've run out of defenders that I really want in my team. And Trippier's there. Their clean sheet actual percentage is not that bad. And he's got the attacking threat. So can I please elaborate more on Castagna? What motivated you to go from apart from playing the back five? So Wolves' attacking numbers are some of the worst for the teams playing this week. John Terry being at Leicester should naturally improve their defensive ability. They've had a week to work on it as well. They looked okay in the last 10 minutes. Castagna's numbers have been okay. It is a punt, right? But as I said on the above average FPL podcast this week, this last, when did he get his assist, to be fair? Yeah, off 0.01 XA is good actually. His attacking numbers have not been great, but not like what they were early in the season anyway. But his positioning is good. And when I look at that final defender spot, I post out on Twitter where I was like, well, who have you got in that last defender spot that you're actually happy owning? And basically every reply I looked at and I was like, not really happy. Like, I wouldn't want you. It was like Moreno. It was Dawson. I can't remember who else was in there. There were a few Mings. I was just like, none of those are inspiring at all in that third defender spot. Harry Souttar's not a bad one because Wolves can... Well, Dawson would be better because Leicester concede a lot from set pieces. If Wolves were at home, I'd go for Dawson. But I think it just might be cagey. I think Leicester might win it. And I'm just punting on Castagna. If someone can tell me they're a better defender to put in there, then I'm all ears. But like Moreno away at Brentford, right? You've got to expect Brentford to score in this game. You've got to expect Wolves to score in this game. White will keep a clean sheet. Listen, if I had a spare Arsenal slot, White would be in there straight away. If I had a spare Liverpool spot, Robbo would be in there straight away. But I like the attackers, the potential to haul. Guehi Kidir, I don't want double Crystal Palace defence, especially with Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in training as well. There's enough there that I don't really want it. New member, Jacob Wilding, thank you very much for joining the channel as a new member. I always get asked how you join the channel as a member. Thank you for joining on the base tier where you get all of the beautiful benefits in stream and live on videos as well. You get all your comments always answered in chat and benefits on videos as well. There's a little join button just here next to the video, or next to where the subscribe button normally is once you've subscribed. What about Henry and Kilman? Am I right? Jen, for anyone wondering, is not on free hit this week and has, to be fair, Kilman's not bad. I prefer Dawson for the attacking threat, but doesn't have your non-free hit team this week. Easy, 98 points. Castagna was your cheeky punt. Not anymore. I might not end up with him. Things could easily change. Here. I'll get up Fantasy Football Scouts predicted points area as well for you all. I know you guys quite like... Thank you, Kason Y, thank you very much for joining as a top tier member. That, of course, gets you added to the group chat over on Twitter. I can help you with your team all throughout the week. Please do drop me a DM on Twitter and I will add you straight after this stream. Spoiler alert, you might want to join that tier before the end of the season, if you are thinking of it. Memberships will look a little bit different next season, I think. They'll all still stay the same, but there'll be new stuff as well. Where was I going? Yeah, I want predicted points. Where's the... cool, there we go. So we've got the predicted points for Scout and we can rank it by this week. So if we look at those defenders, right? If we look at predicted points for defenders, Eze or Benrahma, I'd probably go Eze because Benrahma didn't take the penalty in the Europa League when... Paqueta was on the pitch, so I would probably go with not Benrahma, so I'd go Eze. So of course, like Trent highest, Robbo second. Like if you have a spare Liverpool defender, great. If you can go Trent and Robbo, fantastic. Trippier next, then we get the Arsenal guys, right? Gabriel, White, Van Dijk, Holding, Tierney, Konate, Shah the first one. Zuma comes in next, but I've got Solanke, so I don't want to go there. And then look, highest predicted points out of the, excluding the Newcastle, Arsenal and Liverpool defence, the highest predicted points this week is Timothy Castagna. So he is in there. Paqueta. Long-term, Rashford or Grealish? Probably Rashford, although I have to say, I'm pretty certain they rushed him back Thursday night. Him and Shaw as well. Shaw particularly didn't look fit enough to be playing football on Thursday night. They rushed him back. And if he'd have gone limping off as well, and they lost, Ten Hag would have got it in the neck as well. He's quite lucky. I think they didn't come off any worse than that as well. But it is what it is. Yeah, I think they was a stupid decision. Of course, they wanted to stay in Europa League, but you risk them being out for the season. But the thing is, their next 3 games are actually really big. So, well, 4 games if you include the Cup. So they have the Cup this weekend. Then they play Spurs away. And then they play Villa and Brighton in the double. Which, if you look at the table, is actually a really big... They're actually a really big couple of games. So they have... So like United, they have 5th, 6th and 7th. If in theory they lost those 3 games, which I don't expect them to, it would completely change how that area of the table would look. Jack, thank you for joining as a member as well. Welcome. That's called research. I don't just pick my players completely randomly. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Eze or Isaac, I'd probably go Eze. Again, I don't have a forward spot available. If you have a forward spot available, then maybe Isaac. But I still think Eze's ability to haul is probably better. Is probably better. Jesus to Kane, Trippier to White. I think Jesus and Trippier is a better combination than Kane and White, personally, but that's opinion. Do we have to use free transfer before free hit? So this is one of the questions I get every year, and I'm surprised by it, but absolutely happy to answer it. You can't use your transfer before you use a free hit. That transfer will just become part of your free hit. Any transfers you do from last deadline to this deadline will just be part of your free hit. You can't use it beforehand. Will I play red players for my bench points? I won't. I got enough grief from that last time. Everyone telling me I got lucky because I got Solanke off the bench for Marcus Rashford when it was pretty obvious pre-deadline that Marcus Rashford was not going to play. I think I missed your super chat. I'm really sorry, did I? Yes, I did. Is Harry Wilson being overlooked? Thank you, the Luke guy. Is Harry Wilson being overlooked? Leeds conceding tons. I think there'll be goals in that. I think people are picking Willian as well. People are picking Andreas Pereira. I just think it's quite hard to predict who's going to haul in those games. There'll be someone in that Fulham Leeds game that we all wish we went on, which is why I've actually got Rodrigo first sub. I got Perisic last on my bench as well. There'll be someone in there. I quite like Willian. I quite like Andreas Pereira because Andreas Pereira will likely be on penalties as well, which is always a boost. So, Maddison or Bowen? I'd probably go Maddison, and the reason for it is he looked pretty good in the last parts against Man City. And so if I go and get Leicester up here, if you look at their positioning, line up. So he played a sort of a 10, and if we look at his average position, like this is him, isn't it? Yeah, like his average position is crazy good. I'd have Maddison over Isaac as well, Daniel Mitchell. I think he's a good option this week. Maybe I should have him over Solanke and go 3-5-2. Yeah, maybe I should go 3-5-2 with it, but maybe he's a better option than Solanke. But I just think if I'm going Castagna and Maddison is a bit of overkill in a team that are so poor, so I don't really want the double up. So one of the questions that I'm getting a lot is what I'm going to do if Jesus is not starting or one of the others are not starting, and I think I have 2 options, and I probably need to decide what to do on it. Option 1 is just to go and get probably Trossard, because if Trossard's going to start, I want Trossard. And go and get Trossard in my midfield and just drop Jesus down and play a front two. So I'll just put, I don't know how much I've got in here. I've got 10.9. I can almost afford to bench Kane, which I feel like is asking for trouble, but I would just like bench him. But I would, yeah, just go and pick someone on my forward line and just bench them. Like I could just bench Tony, for example, or Brennan Johnson or something like that. Probably not Brennan Johnson. But I would probably do that. The only other thing that I could do is drop Castagna, go for the Arsenal defence in Gabriel, and then go and get Maddison. So if he's benched, it's either Trossard and Castagna or Gabriel Maddison, which I'm not 100% sure on at the moment. I probably need to decide pre-deadline, but that's probably my thinking of what I'm going to do. I'll probably end up playing 2 forwards, and I'll fill that third midfield slot if Jesus isn't starting. Castagna, Gakpo, Edouard, or Robbo, Eze, Tony. Robbo, Eze, Tony, I think. Yeah. I mean, Castagna, Gakpo, Solanke, on the other hand, I then have over Robbo, Eze, Tony is the only thing. The double Liverpool defence is nice. The double Liverpool defence is nice. People asking why would I go Gabriel over Ben White? It would probably depend on if Zinchenko's starting. Because Ben White, when Zinchenko starts, is not as good as Ben White when Tierney starts. Because Tierney is not good going forward. Yeah, you can come in. Yeah, so Ben White is not as good when Zinchenko's on the pitch, just because Tierney's not good going forward. They unweight it, they unbalance it a little bit. But yeah, why am I so confident on Solanke? I mean, his numbers have been good, right? He's playing against a West Ham team who have also played a lot of minutes. I'm now very zoomed in, but his expected goal involvement, he actually only had lowest was against Spurs when he hauled, but 0.9 against Leicester, 0.9 against Brighton as well, 1.4 against Fulham. Then it drops off a little bit, but still 0.5 against City, 0.5 against Wolves, 0.75 against Newcastle. Like, his expected goal involvement, we owned him earlier in the season and he was a good asset then as well. So, yeah, I don't dislike him. Isaac and Gakpo or Jota and Eze. Probably Isaac and Gakpo. Who am I talking to? I mean, I don't want to open this barrel of worms again about whether I actually have a girlfriend or not, but she just needed to get her work stuff out of here. But it's hidden by green screen, so it's all fine. But I'm sure you'll tell me that she's made up again. Isaac or Solanke? Well, Solanke's in my team. Confirmation of captain for Salah. Salah's my captain, so it's not moving. Unless we get news that Salah's not starting, which is very, very not going to happen. But yeah. We have an hour and a half still to go until the deadline. Twin brother. What about going for Robertson, Trossard, Antonio for Castagna, Gakpo, Jesus? I don't fancy Antonio. You could pick another forward, maybe. Hey, Leanne. Focal announce I went up in second in the Experts League. Yes, I did. Harry's hidden girlfriend, honestly. Confirmation on captain for Salah. Yeah, Salah captain. When you say his girlfriend, we say his mum. Harry's imaginary girlfriend, honestly. Show on stream, or it can't be confirmed. She's been in a video. Just go and watch the video that I did before the start of the season. She was in it. Pre-recorded fake girlfriend interruption, honestly. If I play a free hit, can I still make another transfer afterwards? No, your free hit is then just active. Any transfers you make will still be part of your free hit. Zinchenko or Shah. Zinchenko or Shah. Well, Zinchenko, we're not certain he's going to start, so I'd probably go Shah, but we might get news close to the deadline. We don't have anything. We don't have any news on Arsenal yet. Yeah, no news on Arsenal yet. Who do I love more at the moment, Solanke or my girlfriend? Given that I'm wearing a Solanke shirt, I think we know where that answer goes. Will Darwin start? I think Jota starts. I think it's Jota, Gakpo, Salah again, but I wouldn't pick Jota because I think that's the biggest risk in that Liverpool front line. Harry, just checking, you're 263rd in the world. Yeah, I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. It does say, and it is on every video. Oh, you can't even see that. There we go. No consideration for others to captain other than Salah. Not really. Not really. What country is that flag? Christmas Island. Christmas Island. Captain Saka or Martinelli? Martinelli. My captaincy thing will be flicking around in that top corner in a minute. And my free hitting, yeah. Free hit active. Maybe I should do it like... Oh, wrong screen. Zooming out all over the place. I should do it like that so you can all see. Do I hate if I do Tony over Solanke? No, I don't think Tony's a bad option. Let's look at the predicted points again by position. So in theory, the 3 forwards that we should own for this week are Jesus, Tony, Iheanacho as well. Solanke's quite low down the list, so maybe we shouldn't have Solanke. And then midfield, Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Maddison. Maddison's high up there. Maddison's actually higher than Gakpo. Interesting. But yeah, that forward one is interesting actually. Isaac above Kane. Kane is low. Yeah, fine. Watkins is low down as well. Tony's so high up there. Tony is so high up there. Do I have Solanke in my team because he was in my team and I wouldn't want to take him out? The thing is with the free hit is you do end up comparing to what your team would have scored before you played the free hit. And if I take Solanke out and he does well, then it's going to look like it's a really waste of the chip. Why not free hit 34? Because the reason free hit 34 I don't think is a good strategy. If you're on it now, then great, go for it. But the reason I didn't do it and the reason I wildcarded earlier on is because the people who double in game week 34 that then are going to double in game week 37, which hasn't been announced yet. The 37 double for Chelsea, United, Brighton, Man City haven't been announced. But those 4 teams are the teams you want in game week 34 as well. United, Brighton, City. Those are the 3 teams you're buying in game week 34 for their double anyway. If you are free hitting in game week 34, you're just going to spend game week 34 to 37 bringing in the players that you brought in your free hit. You're going to bring in a City defender. You're going to be bringing in a triple Brighton. Maybe you've already got triple Brighton. Maybe you've already got City. Well, then the free hit doesn't gain as much value. Now, if you've got wildcard 33, it might change a little bit. But generally, it means that a lot of us who wildcarded early, like when I look at my team, from game week 34 to game week 37, I don't need all my transfers. unless I'm getting injuries, unless I get a player that falls horribly off form. My team sets up pretty nicely from 34 to 37 that I don't need all my transfers. Now it changes a little bit if you have you don't have Trent, you don't have Salah, for example. You might need to use transfers on them, for example. But the chances are you need to be buying them before 34 anyway. So, yeah. Thoughts on the fact the last few times Núñez did start, it was Gakpo who was dropped rather than Jota. But just had a look at their Instagram team sheet posts. I think that's more coinciding with injury news. I might be wrong, but I think he likes Gakpo at the moment. Gakpo's definitely in there, right? Gakpo's locked in. I posted on Twitter who my locked in players were, and I can show you. So these are the players that are definitely in. Salah, Trent, Gakpo, Martinelli, Saka, Watkins, Johnston are all pretty much nailed on in that. There are over 2,000 of you in here watching, but only 400 likes on the stream. If you haven't liked the stream already, please make sure you do so. That would be much appreciated to help the stream out, to help the channel out. And if you have not subscribed already, that would also be great. We're going to try and hit 55,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I think it's unlikely, but any support you could give would be cracking. It would be great. Harry, if I didn't already have Solanke for his 15-point haul, would I still choose him over Tony? That's the thing. Maybe I wouldn't. But West Ham just playing in Europe, like they are going to be tired. Bournemouth have looked good as well. Why does that look weird? There we go. Part of me thinks if Jesus isn't benched, maybe I just go Jesus to Tony, Solanke to Maddison, and go and get an Arsenal defender. Because then that way I have Maddison, I have an Arsenal defender, and then I'm Tony over Solanke. I don't know what I feel about Tony over Solanke. Trent as captain is juicy. Anyone going on Trent captain, I absolutely don't blame you. A clean sheet this weekend, playing in that midfield role, could easily get an assist. And then both of those combined, Trent's in on bonus, and that's like straight away 12 points before he even gets... 12 points if he gets bonus as well. Straight away it's a 10-pointer as well. So if you're chasing, and I know that's a very easy thing to say, but I did tweet that this is probably the week that I would start to look to go a little bit different. I'm not saying I would captain Trent, but I think it's, if you want to go crazy, I think it's probably where I would look. Vasilis, thank you very much for joining as a member. Tierney is starting, we don't actually know. Where is Eze? Eze's underlying numbers are actually not that great. He scored he's got 4 attacking returns off 1.5 expected goal involvement. After Jurgen's comments in his presser about pressing, do I think Jota's chance of starting are increased? I don't think it's a boost for Darwin, that's for sure. The thing is, Darwin is a player who runs a lot. He doesn't run to press. Why am I not considering Isaac? Because I think there's a small enough chance that Callum Wilson is the one who starts. Callum Wilson's home form is great. He trusts him. I think Isaac will start, but I don't think it's impossible that Callum Wilson starts. Which means, yeah. Free hit without Jesus. Now, I don't think Jesus will play more than 70 minutes, 65 minutes tonight. Which means, yeah, you could consider it. What will I do if Jesus doesn't start? I'll probably ditch Castagna. I'll probably go an Arsenal defender, and then I'll probably go Trossard in my midfield and play a 3-5-2. Surely Robbo and Mattis for Saka and Gakpo. I wonder what the predicted points on moves like that is. I don't hate it. Listen, it's close, but like I just expect Gakpo to... I expect Liverpool to score a lot of goals. So I'm expecting returns from him. If we look at Robertson... Like, his XA against Arsenal was not bad. His XA against Leeds was rubbish. His XA against these two was also rubbish. It's okay, but it's not, like, great. Gakpo's numbers were really good. I can't even see this website, man. 0.9, 0.2. It's not actually as good as I thought it was. But when the team perform, Gakpo tends to do pretty well. So I understand the double Liverpool defence thing, right? The double Liverpool defence thing, the Arsenal defence thing, it is good. And it's not a big risk, but not having all of those is a bit of a risk. Why Gakpo over Van Dijk? I just think there's going to be goals in that for Liverpool. And the chances of Gakpo outscoring Robbo, I think, is there. Why not go Odegaard instead of Solanke if Jesus is out? If Jesus is out, then I will go probably Trossard over Jesus. I seem to be pretty locked in on Gakpo. I just think... I know the chances are... The clean sheet odds for Liverpool this weekend are crazy high, right? But... just think Gakpo will start. If he's going to start, I want double Liverpool attack in that game. More than they want double Liverpool defence. And a lot of people are going Gakpo. Gakpo has become very popular after last weekend and after the quotes today and Firmino not being available. Why not swap Perisic for a cheap defender and get Maddison in for Rodrigo? I mean, I could, right? I think I can afford Maddison in for Rodrigo. I can do it. I just threw my bench together. I think there's going to be someone who hauls in that Leeds Fulham game, but let's go Dawson. I actually quite like Dawson. And that, Maddison is just a lot of money there, but anyway. Perisic to Dawson, Rodrigo to Maddison. Fine. I look at Robbo as an attacker, so I do as well, but he's not as good when Trent plays. When Trent plays in midfield, he's not as good. Simple as that. So if we go look at Leeds where they won that, we're going to look players' average positions for Liverpool. Look at where Robertson is. So that's where Robertson is when he plays in effectively a back three. If we go and look back to where should we go? What's a game that they actually won? We'll look at Bournemouth and then we'll look at the United game as well. Look where he is now, despite them losing the game. Massively advanced. And look where he is against United as well. Massively advanced, right? He's a different player when Trent plays in that midfield role. Plays more of a third centre-back, which he can still get returns from, but it's not nearly as good. Part of me wonders if I was to go double Liverpool defence, that I would actually go Van Dijk over Robertson and just punt on a goal from a corner. Still on corners, still on free kicks. It's true. Any suggestions on the free hit? Ramsdale feels like a waste of a spot. I'd much rather Johnston and an Arsenal defender over Ramsdale, Gahey. Trent, Trippier, Willian, Gakpo, Odegaard, Salah, Martinelli. Yeah, you've gone Odegaard over Saka. Like, I get it. It feels like a bit of a punt, but you've gone for it. I don't hate it. Still nothing. Still nothing on Arsenal. We've still got over an hour until the deadline. I'm not expecting anything until much closer to it, but Yeah. Not expecting anything until much closer to the time. But I will be keeping an eye out for it for you all. What I think about this lineup: Trent, Robbo, White, Maddison, Bowen, Martinelli, Salah, Jesus, Tony Watkins. Like, I like it, but 3 defenders from Arsenal and Liverpool combined feels like overkill. Feels like overkill. No Fulham player. Leeds look really bad. Yeah, Leeds do look really bad, but I just can't fit them all in. And it's the same with like Maddison. It's the same with Eze. It's the same with Tony. Like, I like these picks, but I don't have space for them in my draft at the moment. I might get them in by the time the deadline comes around. But at the moment, they're not there. I'm good, thank you. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I am a Chelsea fan. This just has a special place in my heart after a Dominic Solanke 15-pointer last week. It has Dominic Solanke on the back as well. No, Crystal Palace, Elise, Eze. I think they're good, but their underlying numbers are not actually as good as their points have been. Not nearly as good as their points have been. A reminder, if you haven't already, please do drop subscribe for the channel and make sure you have liked the stream as well. Thank you all for joining and choosing my stream to watch today. Any love for Ings, due a start and a must win for them. I don't necessarily think he is due a start. Antonio came off early enough in the Europa League that maybe he's not. So again, it's just like, why would you take a punt on a player that you're not certain he's going to start, is my opinion. Where do I think we'll end up, Chelsea fan, this season? I think we'll get 4 more points. I think we'll get 4 more points. Haaland to Solanke for -4, or Kane, Chaël to Solanke, Trent. You're freeing in 34. I would probably do the Kane move though. You just want Haaland in your team. I would do the Kane move, to be honest. Wouldn't be selling Haaland for a hit. Bowen or Maddison? Probably Maddison. Can I consider Chaël as my 3rd defender on my lineup? High expected goal and back Newcastle get a clean sheet this week. If you think Newcastle keep a clean sheet, then go for it. I don't necessarily think I'm confident enough to double up on top of Trippier. Good luck. Thank you. Castagna and Jesus or Gabriel White and Solanke? Probably Castagna, Jesus. Pretty certain Castagna, Jesus, actually. Starting to make me doubt myself on Solanke. But the West Ham defence has not been... So if I go and get Zuma up... If I go and get Zuma up, their expected goals conceded, well, it's bad against the teams there. It's not. It's okay there. It's okay there. It's not great there. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Oh, that's Zuma specifically though. Who's played? No one's played all the games. It's hard to check, but. Late to the party. Why am I starting Castagna over Moreno? He's likely to be a wing back for them. So West Ham won 4-1 last night. Yeah, but they might be tired. There's lots of ways you can read into that as a narrative. Issue is Bournemouth needs to play against open teams to score. West Ham will just drop and defend low block. Yeah, I saw that, and I saw someone commenting on that as well. That they don't do as well against low block teams, but Van Dijk or Robertson, probably, like, I probably would go Robertson, but Eze is so clear off Gakpo. I don't necessarily think so, but Newcastle shaky explain, I don't think so. I'm quite happy with Trippier in here. Why Castagna? Because Wolves' attacking numbers is pretty dreadful. Castanya's likely to be a wing back as well, so I don't like anyone in that third spot. You guys are putting me off Solanke a little bit. But if I don't play Solanke, then I mean, I could play Maddison. Let's see what happens at... let's see what happens if we get any early Arsenal team news. But you're at 37k, no free hit. You took a -4 to bring in Salah and Solanke from Mings and Watkins and Henry and Raya. At the moment, you're benching Villa. Do I -4 to bring in Johnson, bench Henry, play Villa? -4 is Johnson worth a -4? No, because you probably won't play him. Would I play Henry or a Villa defender? I'd probably play a Villa defender. Why not Jota? Because there could be we could get a start for we could get a start for Darwin. That's what I'm talking about. I fancy a Wolves clean sheet, to be honest. I think that game will be cagey. I don't see loads of goals in that one. No Arsenal news as of yet. How long until the teams come out? Half an hour plus an hour and a half until the teams come out. We had it early enough last week, but why Castagna over Moreno? You were on Moreno, but I just think that Villa will score. Looking at predicted points as well for this week, Castagna is better than Moreno. Where is Moreno even? I think his minutes might be low. Yeah, his minutes are low. That's why. Where's Mings? So Mings is predicted 2.34. The chance of a clean sheet is probably not that high as well, predicted points wise. So yeah. If we look at goalkeepers as well to make it slightly more comparable. I mean, Iverson's a bit low, but that's because Danny Ward takes up some of them. The Leicester goalkeepers, if you add them together, go to 3.8, which actually puts them up here. It puts them above Martinez. So why Maddison over Eze? I mean, they're first on my bench. The Crystal Palace midfield numbers are not as good as people think they are. They've returned well, but they relied a lot on vibes. There's no way Leicester keep a clean sheet. I don't see any of them, really. I think clean sheets are going to be hard to come by this week. Now, listen, Moreno might do well. He might get an assist, but yeah, Brentford at home are not necessarily a straightforward team, and I've got Watkins. I'm okay with that. It's the same. We've had it on videos, we've had it on Twitter a lot this week, that there's so many variations of drafts and there's a lot of very close calls, which is actually why I hate the free hit chip. I hate the free hit chip. I think it's the worst chip in the game. It's useful for the game. Don't get me wrong. It's useful for the game to help navigate blank game weeks, etc. But I don't think it's a good chip because it relies so much on variance. It's like picking your Game Week 1 squad again. Even more variance than that. You're relying on a specific game week for swings to go your way, picking 11 players for 1 week. Solanke or decent subs for Kane. Just pick whoever you expect to score more points, basically. Darwin or Gakpo. Gakpo, definitely. So it's just a really difficult chip, and it can easily go horribly against you, right? Because if Kane scores, a lot of free hits suddenly look rubbish, right? Or if he scores more than one. Will there be early team news? So we've had Arsenal news before. That has been correct. So we've had news before, so we're hoping for it. No attacker has got more than one return away at Newcastle this year. This is true. Why am I not set? Who am I not set on? Solanke, Jesus, Castagna are the 3 spots up for grabs, basically. Well, I mean, Solanke, Castagna, or the Arsenal guys if we're told they don't start, effectively. Solanke, Castagna, unless we're told the Arsenal guys don't start, then their spots are up for grabs. But Saka and Martinelli are pretty locked in because I can't see them not starting. Gakpo and Jesus, or Odegaard and Jota. Gakpo and Jesus. Gakpo or Jota. Gakpo is the one in my team. When's the best time to bench boost? Game week 34 is probably the best time to play all your remaining chips if, like, bench boost, triple captain, free hit, if you're not playing them already. Solanke over Tony. Maybe I'm blinkered by Solanke's return last week. Do I think Watkins has more haul potential than Tony? I think it's close, but I also am aware that those not on free hit, going against Watkins is a stupid thing to do. Whereas going against Tony is not necessarily. The ownership of Tony is much lower. And, you shouldn't necessarily play FPL by ownership, but when I've got 2 players who I think are likely to return similar points, if one of them has the ability to punish me bad, it's just the way it's going to be played when I'm ranked where they are. Robertson or Gakpo? Well, Gakpo's in at the moment. Tony over Jesus and go with an Arsenal defender. Like, that could happen. If Tony doesn't start, that may well happen. If Jesus doesn't start, even. If Jesus doesn't start, that may well be what I decide to do. Quite like Leno as well, but I think I'm going to stick with Johnson. Tony has 18 Prem goals this season and is a 90-minute man. It's true, but his returns recent. I mean, if you add the penalty that he missed in, it does change it a little bit, but home, away, home, away. He does score every other game though. Look at this. 23, they blanked in 25, 26, 20, the second game of 27, 29, second game, 30. He's predicted, if you believe in trends, predicted to score this week. If you guys haven't already, please remember, of course, like and subscribe. I won't keep banging on about it, but I might also. Totti, better option than Dawson? No, I'd go Dawson. I know he's been, like, he didn't play. He came off played half a game against Leeds, but he's a 90-minute man and the goal threat is there for Dawson. I don't hate Dawson as well because if Wolves were at home, I think a lot of us would have a Wolves defender. But Leicester being at home, but am I concerned about Gakpo being benched? Not really. Plan to bench boost on game week 34. Shall I wildcard this week or next week? Please, I would not wildcard this week. It feels like such a strange week to wildcard when you're going to want City, you're going to want United, you're going to want Brighton. Like, you're going to want 9 from those 2 teams basically on 34. So, yeah. According to your draft, Gakpo out for Bowen, Dawson out for Robertson, and Saka out for Odegaard, Solanke out for Tony. What do I think? I mean, they're the 50-50 calls on the changes, right? And I've been saying this, that like Robbo and Maddison, or Robbo and someone, and Robbo and who would it be? Bowen versus Gakpo and Castagna. It's like it's not that much in it. You are making 50-50 calls this week, which is why I hate the chip. Shows your starting 11. This is it. Can't believe your league position. Huge props. Thank you. Son and Jesus, or Kane and Odegaard. Son and Jesus, but I'm not sure I'd want any Spurs this week. Attackers don't tend to haul against Newcastle, which is why I don't have them. Why Castagna over Moreno? Just playing at wing back. I just think that game's going to be cagey. Like, do people not expect? Do people think that Brentford have a lower chance of scoring than the Wolves? Maybe. Front three of Kane, Jesus, Watkins. Listen, if you want to go Kane, great. Go for it. But I don't think he's got haul potential this week. I think he's not in my top 5 defenders that I want to start this week. Tete, good punt. I just think Leeds have got too much to play for. They do attack. They might not finish well, but they do attack well. Can I rank Kane, Tony, Solanke? Well, Solanke, Tony, Kane. Reverse order for what you said, I think. Any Arsenal lineup news? Not yet. So Sam C345, the guy on Twitter who normally gets early news, has just tweeted saying, "What's your FPL teams looking like for this week?" Which I feel like is a strange thing to tweet. I know he doesn't normally get Arsenal team news, but let's wait and see. Why don't I have Eze? The stream where you get asked, why don't I have every player that I could possibly own? Because his expected data in his 3 starts is 1.5, with a lot of those coming in that massive game against Leeds. And he has 4 returns from 1.5 expected goal involvement over that time. So it's not great. The numbers are not great, basically. The numbers are not great. So I just think there's better options this week. If we look at predicted points as well, for like midfielders, he's okay, but he does fall below Bowen, Maddison, and Gakpo, who effectively I've picked over them. Not that much below Gakpo, to be fair. Maddison predicted to outscore Gakpo, but that's due to minutes, basically. Why am I keeping Raya? He's just on the bench. Better than you sitting there in silence with the same team on screen for the next hour. It's true, but my team might change. I'm here to answer questions. What am I eating? An Easter egg. Healthy, I know. Matoma due to fall tonight. I mean, that's because people... I'm surprised by it. Like, Matoma shouldn't be one of the players people are selling to try and get people out. But it will be people who aren't necessarily on free hit that haven't activated yet. Just a word of warning. Please go and check. If you're on free hit, go and check now that your free hit is active. Make sure it is active. Please go and make sure you've clicked that button. Please make sure you go and click that button. Fairly template free hit. Worried about Jesus minutes. Right now it's Castagna and Jesus starting. Would I prefer that combo to White, Kane? I probably wouldn't go Kane if Jesus doesn't start, but like if Jesus doesn't start, I might just go like safe would be take out Castagna, take out Jesus, put in an Arsenal defender, and put in Tony or put in Maddison and just have one of the two. Or have both of them and not have Solanke. And that will become very template. I do like the idea of Trossard though. I really like the idea of Trossard. How confident am I that Jesus starts? 60%? 60% maybe? I'm not that confident. And actually I tweeted it a couple of times this week and people shouted at me. They didn't shout at me. But they were like, oh, he's definitely going to play. Yeah, because I've had people message me saying, oh, I've taken a -20. I forgot to click free hit. If you still free hit before the deadline, it's fine. But please make sure that your free hit is active. Is it foolish? I feel like it's hard to do a poll because there's different combinations of things everywhere. But my thoughts on Bowen, fine. I just don't think he's one of the best options this week. Bournemouth are not a bad team at the moment as well. Away to them having played Europe as well. Isaac overlooked. Thoughts on Heung-min Son. Again, I just don't expect there to be massive goals in that game. If I don't expect there to be massive goals in that game, I don't think Isaac's necessarily going to haul. And I don't know 100% certainty that he's going to start. Wilson could start. And they could go for a front three without two strikers in. It's a big game. But Newcastle don't need to win it. So, is it foolish to keep Harrison? No. I spoke about Harrison in my video. I don't dislike him as a punt. Arteta studied at... One sec. I just got a picture here. How do I... Hang on, let me get it up. I just tweeted it. I just retweeted it, right. So this is from Newcastle on Twitter, right? With a heart. Oh no, it's got Lascelles in. I was going to say, like, is this not their starting lineup? And it doesn't include Isaac and it includes Wilson. But I don't know who this man is on the right. And this is Lascelles, and Lascelles isn't going to start. And yeah, it's not. Ignore me. Ignore me. It is good Easter egg. It is good Easter egg. Thanks for asking. DZ Soccer, please do not send fake... Oh, it's Manquillo. It was definitely not a starting lineup then. Please don't send fake team news into the chat. If you've got team news, then please DM me on Twitter. The team news, but please don't... Right, well... I mean, how do I... Mods? I need more mods. Bye-bye. It's people, of course, coming looking for attention. And there'll be that on Twitter as well this afternoon as well. So, why do I overlook Odegaard? Odegaard's returns have not been great recently. Honestly, if people come in saying Jesus is benched with like nothing to go off, then I will... I mean, they're getting muted to start with, but things quickly escalate. Like his expected goal involvement for Odegaard has actually not been that great recently. His returns have also not been that great as well. He's ticked along, but there's not been that haul in there. I'd much rather the wingers, I think. Is this my final squad? No. Like, I am waiting till closer to the deadline. Like, we might get Arsenal team news as close to... I might get Arsenal team news close to the deadline, so I'm not locking in my team until, like, practically the deadline, so... Is this my final squad? No. No. I got one free transfer, no free hit. Who should I sell between Kepa, March, Matoma? I'd sell Kepa. because the others you'll want to keep. Tempted not to play Trip. Spurs score 12 out of 15 games. Trippier good at home. Like clean sheet odds still back Trippier, still back Newcastle as one of the better ones outside of Liverpool and Arsenal. And then he has the most attacking threat of any of the defenders as well. So I don't look at any defence and think they keep a clean sheet this week outside of Arsenal and outside of Liverpool. What rank am I? 263rd in the world. Solanke or Tony? I've got Solanke, but I'm wondering if it's not going to be there come the deadline. I'm starting to get cold feet on Solanke a little bit. Gakpo or Jota? Gakpo. Will I show my final team? Well, yeah, but I will, but I'm not confirming it for a while. 2,500 of you watching. Thank you very much. Less than 1,000 likes though. There's lots of you in here who haven't liked the stream. If you could like, that would be very, very helpful. Help the stream get shared out, support the channel. That would be great. Maybe one day have the channel grow enough that I can do it full time to then be able to bring you even more content. Who should I captain between Saka, Martinelli, Watkins, Kane and Tony? Probably Martinelli. Martinelli's second for me if you don't have Trent and you don't have Salah. But if you don't have Trent and you don't have Salah, things could be tough this week. Who's good to follow for Arsenal leagues? We don't necessarily get it from the same person every week, which is why it's not reliable that we're definitely going to get it this week. But they are the earliest kickoff. So, yeah, let's wait and see. I will share anything that I get. You just tweeted to Chaël asking for the lineup. Oh, that'll definitely do it. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. Thoughts on Wilson? Again, I just don't know who's going to start up front. Can I do a captaincy poll? If you'd like to see a captaincy poll that is 100% Mo Salah, I will do a captaincy. Captaincy poll. Salah. Martinelli. Jesus. Other. Watch this go 100% to Bukayo Saka or 90+%. Am I planning on getting rid of Chaël by Gameweek 34? Yes, probably. I don't have a Brighton defender in my team at the moment, so that is very much likely to be my move either next week or the week after. Do I reckon? Who do I reckon will be the lowest ownership in my team? Definitely Castagna. Did I mention what rank I am? You missed it the first 30 times. Very good, very funny. Yeah, 88% of you voting Salah captain. A few of you on Arsenal, a few of you going differential. Your forward, Jesus, Watkins and Jota. Any recommendations? I'd rather Gakpo than Jota personally, but that's just me. Trent captain is not completely out of the question. Well, it's out of the question for me, but I quite like it for people who are chasing. To be honest. 87% of you are going Salah captain, so yeah, it is unanimous. Why not Darwin? Just because I don't know who's going to start in that position. Because I don't necessarily think he's going to start. I definitely wouldn't be picking Darwin. I think Jota's a big enough risk. Rationale for Castagna over Moreno. Just think that game's going to be cagey. I think a high chance for clean sheet. You currently don't have Saka. Is this a crazy move? If I was punting against one Arsenal player, it would probably be punting against Arsenal if you need to chase. I wouldn't punt against Martinelli, and if Jesus starts, I wouldn't punt against him either. Saka's probably the one, but it's dangerous. Would I prefer Van Dijk or Robertson and why? I'd probably go Robertson, but if you go Van Dijk, you get the ability that you just get a goal and clean sheet, and he just gets 15 points like that, which is harder for Robertson to do. He's unlikely to score. Who'd win a scrap between me and Raptor? To be fair, Raptor is in the gym a lot of the time. It's probably Ross. Sadly. Waiting for leak news. We all are. I got my phone. 45 minutes to the deadline. Goalkeeper Martinez, he's good. If they keep a clean sheet, he'll do really well. But the thing is with Brentford is they have, as you might have heard on Above Average FPL, if you listen to them. If not, please go and check them out. I posted it in the community section because I was on with them 2 days ago. Brentford often just get a lot of high XG chances. And that's not good for goalkeepers because it means that goalkeepers don't make a lot of saves. They don't get a lot of bonus as a result. You want teams that trade in high volume of shots, which tends to be good for goalkeepers. So although I like Martinez, I don't think probably not the week for it. What time will leak news be out? We don't know. It might not come. Perhaps it's about 35 though, so you should have youth on my side. He's not 35. Have you missed something on the Bournemouth shirt? With the risk of being shouted at by the chat again for talking about my rank enough over the past hour. This beauty here. But I promise not to bang on about it. I promised them. Seem stressed. I'm actually less stressed than I have been, but I will be once the once we get team news, maybe. How old am I? I am 24 years of age. Who would I pick between Gabriel and White if you had to pick one? I probably would go Gabriel, and I'd risk my chance of getting lucky, but White's been pretty good, so it's pretty close between the two of them. If Zinchenko starts, then I would definitely go Gabriel. But if Tierney starts, then I might go if Tierney starts, then I would probably go Ben White because of the way they play. Asraf, thank you for joining as a base tier member. Welcome to the channel. You get all your questions answered, plus you get little emojis of my face to use. I'm going to have to put one of... That's what I'll add. I've been wondering what to add. I'll add a Solanke emoji. Yeah. Go on, Harry. Beat the drum of your rank. Unlikely anyone complaining about you mentioning it will ever get close to it. I'm not sure I'll finish here, but let's see. Trent captain, yeah, don't dislike it. If you're chasing, I can understand it. Do I transfer Salah in for Saka, Matoma, Rashford or March? I mean, I would say Saka, but Saka plays this week, so it's not Saka. It's probably Matoma or March. Probably Matoma. What happened to my nose? My nose? My nose, nothing. One sec, sorry. Sorry. We're back. What's happened to my nose? Nothing. Since why am I not sure about Jesus minutes? Why not Isaac or Tony? Well, if I think Jesus is going to start, like he's got some of the best predicted points this week. if he's predicted to start. So if we go by forward, like, he'll be lower down because... no, he's actually top, even with the lower predicted minutes. Just joined our live. Thank you for renewing as a 5 months for the channel. Am I free hitting? Yes, I am free hitting this week. Welcome to the top tier. Ali, welcome as a member. Please drop me a DM on Twitter and I'll get you added to the group chat. I'll get you to the group chat straight after this. When would I play my triple captain? Gameweek 34, probably. 40 minutes to deadline, correct. For my information, Leicester haven't got a clean sheet since November. It is true. It is true. Part of me is hoping Jesus is benched. My life becomes easy if Jesus is benched, I think. But I do expect this game to be cagey. I don't look at any of those defenders in that third slot and think I want them. Some sad people out there. Yeah. Yeah. Am I not concerned about Jesus' minutes? I am. Members worth it, guys. I appreciate it, Carl. Gakpo or Trent, captain. Gakpo or Trent, captain. Trent. The membership's going to be worth it more from next season as well. You wait. You wait. Can I change transfers after confirming with free hit active? Yeah, so your free hit's like your wild card. You can just keep changing it right up until the deadline. Is it worth to go Jacob Ramsey over Salah for captaincy? I would advise not. You already go -8, but 10 players in. Don't have a keeper. So go -12. I don't think any keeper is worth it, to be honest. Unless you can go Alisson, and then you could keep Alisson for the long run. But apart from that, I don't think any of them are worth a -4 this week. Am I planning to get rid of Chaël? Yes, I will in the next couple of weeks. Why should Jesus not start? Just because they play Manchester United midweek. Newcastle leaks tonight? No, Newcastle don't play until Sunday. Newcastle don't play until Sunday, so I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. Zinchenko, is Jesus benched? We don't know yet. Is Zinchenko fit for this game week? We don't know yet. Tony or Solanke? I currently have Solanke in there. We currently have Solanke in there. Why bench Maddison? Why have him at all if bench? Well, I need someone on my bench. Like, I could pick cheaper players, but I had the money spare, so I may as well bench him. If I'm not on free hit, should I get Iverson and Van Dijk or Alisson and Semedo? Probably Iverson, Van Dijk. Zinchenko is fit. Yeah, but he said we don't want to rush him back. Hi, Ali. Welcome as a member. Isaac or Tony? Tony. Because I'm not certain who's going to start, but up front for Newcastle against Spurs. Thought on Son as a differential. Not many attackers have hauled against Newcastle, so I probably wouldn't. Did I not play FPL in 1920? I did. Is that the season of my really bad rank? Yeah. I've had 2 off seasons, and there is explanations for those, but you play FPL with your grandma and sister, and they both just say they think I'm cute today. Thanks. Top 200 today. Cheers. Good luck this week. Thanks, Redditor. Welcome. Good luck to you as well. Kane or Tony or Solanke. Well, Solanke's the one in my team, but I may well change to Tony by the deadline. But again, I'm just not sure that there's that haul potential there for Tony this week. If he scores, he gets bonus. Like, yeah. Yeah, Villa defensively are good, so I plan to get rid of Chilwell. Yes, still, yes. Isn't Alex Moreno the better attacking option than Castagna? Maybe slightly, but I think Brentford score. The best captaincy for those who chase, probably Trent. Robertson in for Zinchenko. Robertson, I'd rather Robertson than Zinchenko this week. Jesus or Isaac. Jesus. Maddison versus Solanke, so tough this week. I agree. I've got Castagna at the moment. Which I don't really want to double up on Leicester, given how bad they've been. We don't know anything on Jesus yet. No pizza for you tonight. That's true. Hang on, can I not? Do they have to be in my starting 11, or can I put them on the bench? About to board a flight before any early team news. Would you leave Jesus in my team? If I didn't have early team news, I'd leave Jesus in my team. Yeah. As a Chelsea fan, Adam, thank you for the super chat. Who do I want to see at the helm next season? Pochettino. What's the highest rank, your highest reward free hit team? Let me know if you're ever in San Diego. Thank you. My highest risk reward. So I would drop Saka. Well, actually, I'd wait for Arsenal team news and I'd potentially look at Trossard, right? I would go like, I don't know. Who don't I own this? I think is high risk, high reward. I'd probably have Iheanacho in over Solanke or something like that. I might, if you wanted high risk, high reward, maybe you bench Watkins and hope that Brentford defend well. But like, before we get Arsenal team news, that's hard to answer, because if we don't get Arsenal team news, then you probably want those three. You could punt on Odegaard over Saka. Something like that. Sorry. But yeah. If you had to cap an Arsenal player, who'd it be? Martinelli. Captain Trent, if you don't have Salah, yes, he's second in my captaincy ranking, which will be coming up in the top. Antonio, no chance. No chance. What I think of saving the free hit for later. If you can take a -4 or -8 to get 11 out, then I think that's fine. So apparently there's no Granit Xhaka in the Arsenal lineup. He hasn't arrived with the group at the Emirates. No Xhaka in the squad. It should just be, I imagine it's just Jorginho. It's possible that it's Odegaard though. Drops deeper, but I imagine it's Jorginho. How about if I change Rashford for Grealish? Not this week, because neither of them play. I wouldn't do that this week. Odegaard playing deeper maybe then. It is possible. I think it's unlikely. I think it would just be Xhaka in. But Arsenal are not as good without him, for sure. Trent, Van Dijk, Trippier, or on defence. Moreno, Botman benched. Trent, Van Dijk, Trippier is nice if you're not going for a Gakpo in your midfield. If you're not going for a Gakpo. Thank you to all the most 3,000 of you who are watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you haven't liked the stream already as well, please do. Catch you up in one sentence to where we are. Free hit is not locked in, waiting for Arsenal team news, effectively. Am I set on Castagna or not yet? No, not yet. Not yet, but I just think that game will be cagey. I think I'll probably end up with him. Hello, first great stream, so thank you for your help. No worries. First ever question. Robertson or Eze versus Trippier and Gakpo? Trippier and Gakpo. Great work. Thank you. Gabriel is not starting. Oh, this is a joke. Don't ban me. This is only for attention. You're lucky. I'll give you one chance. I don't want anyone else putting in brackets. This is a joke. Why don't I bench Moreno and if you don't have any Brentford players? Because I think Tony might score, but I don't think he's going to haul, right? So I don't think he's going to get a 10-plus pointer. So I don't want him in my team, but I think they'll score. Why do I still have Raya? Just on my bench because I needed someone on my bench. Simple as that. Like, I think he can do well. He makes a lot of saves, right? Villa take a lot of shots. Am I doing NBA? Basketball? Do I look like a hoopster? How does Andy get Arsenal team news all the time? I don't know, he has a source. I saw you have a few locked players in on Twitter. Have I added to that list since post? I can't remember who was on that post now. Let me get the post up. How do I feel about Poch joining Chelsea? I'd quite like it. Who's this handsome fella? Trips. You can add Trips to that list. That makes 8. The 3 left. Castagna, Solanke, Jesus. Solanke, Castagna, Jesus, the 3 that are not locked in my draft. Yeah, no Xhaka off the bus. Your forwards are Jesus, Tony, Solanke. Nice. Going against Watkins is a risk given how good they've been, but the best game week to play the free hit later, probably game week 34 or game week 38, but do I think Ward would play? No, I think it'll be Iverson again. Switch between Jesus and Watkins and Trent and Trips. Jesus and Watkins, and you want me to put the red guy in the middle? Okay. Switch. Ooh. Switch. You want it like that? There we go. Aesthetic. The forwards don't make a difference. Xhaka bench. Yeah, Xhaka's not in this. Well, hasn't got off the bus. So is Bournemouth my second team? No, I'm just a massive Dominic Solanke fan. Am I going Odegaard or an Arsenal defender instead of Jesus? I might end up on Trossard, to be honest. Because if Jesus doesn't start, the thing is, Trossard will be a big risk, right? Because it could be that Jesus comes on for Trossard after 45 minutes if they're not winning. However, if they're 3-0 up, Jesus will probably come on for Martinelli and he'll get 90. Jesus in the middle for balance. No, because the 2 red ones on the outside. Jesus or Eze? Jesus. Who instead of Maddison? Well, I don't have Maddison. Why Rare is your backup? Because he makes a lot of saves, has the ability to haul as well. It's not much more than that. I don't expect to need him. But yeah, I don't mind him as an option because he makes a lot of saves. They're at home, they're a good side. Yeah. People think you've posted the Newcastle team. Do they? I hope they don't. I just retweeted a picture. Let me unretweet it. Well, anyway. Slanky captain, no chance. Maddison, Saka, Salah, Martinelli, Van Dijk, Trent, Trips. Yeah, it's nice. You just, of course, lose the Gakpo, but I think Maddison is definitely a nice pick. I don't hate Maddison at all. Why Johnson over Sarr? I've picked a lot of home fixtures here. Watkins my only away fixture. I think there'll be a lot of home wins this weekend. What time is Arsenal early team news? I can't give you an answer there. I can't give you an answer to that one, sadly. Hopefully in the next 25 minutes, but it's possible we don't get it. It's possible we don't get it. Billing, good pick this week. He's a nice differential, yeah. Have my team locked in? No, it's not locked in. No, it's not locked in. Am I planning to get rid of Chaël by game week 34? Yes, still. Is there a reason why I have Maddison instead of Bowen? I prefer Maddison. Home fixture, him playing in that 10 role behind the two strikers. My team's not locked in. Raya is my backup because he makes a lot of saves and I still think he can do well. 3,000 votes on the poll. 90% of you are captaining Mo Salah this week. No surprise there. We will end that one. Tony or Solanke? Tony to Solanke for a -4? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, Xhaka's not. Yeah, Xhaka's not meant to be in the squad at all, I don't think. It just feels like Solanke versus Maddison for a lot of people. Let me put it in as a poll here. Let me put it as a poll here. Solanke, Maddison, both, neither. There we go. Let's see what you guys are doing with those two, which it does feel like it's one of the final things that people are deciding on. It's that defender slot and it's the forward slot. A lot of you going with Solanke, but I wonder if that's because I have him. Arsenal news, not yet. Is my team locked in? Still not yet. Both, but benching Solanke, yeah. Should you pass on additional transfers if you have 9 players? It depends if they benefit your squad. If they're -4s for Liverpool players, then I don't mind it. But apart from that, I probably wouldn't go adding -4s. -4 for Trent, yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I would. As we get close to the deadline, of course, there's going to be zero tolerance on fake team news. So please do not post any. Thank you. If Jesus doesn't start, do we move Kane or Tony? I'd probably go for another Arsenal option in midfield, but I might end up with Tony. I might end up with Tony in my team. That was a pretty cool feature you did not know existed. Yeah, when you renew your membership, you get to post a question. Still rising in price, weird behaviour. Worth going Villa defence as they have the most clean sheets under Unai. I just think that there'll be a goal in that for Brentford. Still trying to... Anyway, Brentford have failed to score once at home all season. Yeah, I still think there's a higher chance that Leicester keep a clean sheet. Is Zinchenko playing? We don't know. So back to it. Why everyone avoiding Andreas this week? Just he hasn't been that reliable. Will we get early team news? I don't know. Is 9 good? I'd only take -4s for Liverpool players this week because they benefit you long term, unless you've got your wild card. Is Isaac benched? We don't know. Isaac benched, we don't know. Hey Ross, Jesus to Isaac and Castagna to White. I would think Ross would say no. Leicester or Wolves? Leicester. Castagna in. Start Raya or Iverson? Probably Raya. What's the chance you're getting a green arrow this week? I don't know. I hope so, but I wouldn't dare say I don't think so because I got slaughtered for it last week. Why not Suit instead of Castagna? Data back him up given Wolves conceded most from set pieces. Yeah, I know that. Let me have a look at that. Let me just get Premier League stats up. Where do I get it? Team stats. It's probably in there somewhere. Palace double defense. I don't love it enough to go on double defense. I'd probably diversify it a little bit. Come on. Gakpo or Robertson. I'm on Gakpo. Thoughts on Andreas, Penn, set pieces, weaker opponent. Yeah, I don't hate Andreas, but they've been very hit and miss, I think. Team stats, come on. That's not what I want. Defending. Is it in defending? Wildcard or free hit? Free hit is much better this week. Wildcard next week if you need to. Crosses conceded. Shots conceded. Crosses conceded. Chance conceded. Set pieces. Is it in there? I can't find it. What's my plan if Jesus doesn't start? I'll probably go Trossard. Crosses conceded. Wow, Wesley, thank you very much for the super chat. Love your channel. Appreciate it. Wolves is up there for crosses conceded from both flanks. Arsenal team news. We still don't have it. How long have we got? 15 minutes. He did miss this game. Why did he miss this game? Wesley hat-trick. Why no Jota? I don't know who's going to start out there. It could be Nunes. Leicester don't cross the ball though, do they? No, but it would be set pieces more than anything. But I can't find the chances conceded from set pieces anywhere. But I can't find it anywhere. No Xhaka in the squad, correct. Solanke or Kane. I'm on Solanke. Pochettino to Chelsea. I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, we might leave it at Castagna. Let me go back to pick team and start answering your questions again. Anyway, Xhaka fell off the team bus. Well, Xhaka's not in the squad, yeah, apparently. Apparently Andy has team news, but he's not said it yet. Let's wait and see. I got my headphone in. I'm listening to him. I've got it all for you. Second in your mini league. First place has Saka, Trippier, Watkins, Moreno. And 70 points ahead and no free hit to the winner. If you're 70 points behind, you probably need to start gambling against him, yeah. But it depends. Do you really care if you go, does losing by 1 point versus 100 points make a difference to you? If it does, then fine. But can I see your super chat? Yes. I would, if you're 70 points behind and you don't care about your rank, I probably would start going heavily against him. Can I see, you have him up on your second tab. No Arsenal team news yet. Surely affects the clean sheet odds that one. No Xhaka, probably a little bit, but it depends who fills his place. Jorginho, maybe, but team news, Jesus being benched. Tell me that's fake, please. I don't know where you're seeing that. So please, yeah, don't send. Yeah, there's no reliable source saying anything on Arsenal yet, so please don't go posting it. Y Castagna, just the attacking threat's not bad. Y Castagna, not Suter, is pretty close. If someone can send me on Twitter a link to chances conceded from set pieces, I can't find it anywhere. If someone could be an absolute legend and send that to me, I would be massively appreciated it. Massively appreciated it. Andy Martin. Sorry, when did Andy Martin become reliable? As a team news source. If you see stuff, guys, feel free to tag me in it and I can say whether I think it's reliable or not. But I haven't seen anything reliable yet. The chat in your stream is frozen. It has. It's rubbish. YouTube need to fix it. Bench doesn't count on free hit. No. Nope. Solanke will get 12. Let's hope so. Who's the best third defender? Sorry. Who's the best third striker? Well, I've got Jesus, Watkins, Solanke at the moment. No Arsenal team news yet. Guys, if you're seeing Arsenal team news on Twitter, please tag me in it because I'm not seeing it anywhere. And so reliability is minimal. It's Callum. Thank you very much for joining as a member. Welcome. Best defender from Liverpool or Arsenal and not Castagna. Thanks. Liverpool or Arsenal. Trent, followed by Robertson. How come Solanke over Tony? I just think Solanke has a better chance to haul. Kieran, thank you very much for the super chat. All of you shouting in the chat that Solanke, that Jesus is bench. Like, I'm not seeing it anywhere, so. So, yeah. Guys, unless you're going to tag me in on Twitter, please stop saying that someone's benched. Because I will have to start timing people out unless I see it. Who would be the best alternative for Castagna? I mean, Moreno's not a bad pick. No official sources. Andy just said he's going to go Castagna, Gakpo, Jesus as his 3 gaps in his team. Which, if he knows anything, means Jesus starts. But if he doesn't know anything, it doesn't help us. But what am I going to do regards to transfers? Isaac in, Solanke out. No, thank you. Unless I get changing in the Arsenal team news, I will lock it in like this, I think. Tony over, Solanke, Solorli. Tony over Solanke. Right, do you think Tony's going to haul? Do we really think Tony's going to haul? I don't see it necessarily, but... Solanke or Bowen? Probably Solanke. You rate Jesus' minutes. So Andy has just said Arsenal team is as you'd expect, and Zinchenko is as, and Zinchenko's back. So don't put Tierney in your free hit. So it says Jesus starts. He thinks Jesus starts, Martinelli starts, and Saka starts. So he thinks they're all fine. Zinchenko also fine. So for me, it's now everything is fine. It's just whether I go Solanke or whether I go with someone else. As far as he knows, Jesus is playing. So that should be fine. It's just Solanke. It's just Solanke now. Captain Saka, I wouldn't do it. Zinchenko is back. It sounds like it. This is what Andy, Let's Talk FPL, has said. FPL Buna. FPL Buna is not reliable. Is Barnes injured? Yes. Edouard is a punt, but probably doesn't fit into our forward line. Martinelli play 90. Well, depends what the score is. Got to stick on Solanke's form against considering West Ham players last night. I think I'm going to lock it in. Is FPL Boona nonsense? Please don't come in and quote FPL Boona in my stream. I love the guy, but his team use is not reliable. What, like... Yeah, like, it's not reliable. The stuff you're seeing on Twitter from FPL Boona pretending to be someone else is not reliable. Jesus, Martinelli and Saka, we sounding like he's fine. Yeah, so please don't believe... Boona is nonsense. FPL Salah has been done over on Twitter if he's retweeted it. He's now unretweeted it as well. So it's just Solanke, but I think I'm going to keep him against West Ham. I think I'll keep him. I think we're going to lock it in like this. The only thing is Solanke, but why don't I do Solanke to Tony? Because I just don't think Tony's going to haul. If you think Tony's a better pick than Solanke, then go for it. If you think Tony's a better pick than Solanke, then feel free to change it in your team. Jesus and Gahey or Gakpo and White. Gakpo and White. You think Brentford will score, but not Tony? I think Tony might score, but I don't think he's going to haul in that game. I don't think he's going to get a massive return. But Solanke could get one goal as well, though. Yeah, but the chance of there being lots of goals in Bournemouth West Ham, I feel like is higher than Brentford Villa. Villa are very good defensively, right? Villa are very, very good defensively. I don't... Yeah. Well, Maddison or Gakpo. Gakpo. So, Solanke or Palace mid. I'm on Solanke. But feel free to FPL Boona. Guys, I need to... How do I mute a word in my chat? FPL Boona is something that should be blocked from using in my chat. Leicester are terrible at the back, but I don't consider a defence in the others like that I want. If you guys don't like my draft and you want to go elsewhere on it, like, feel free. Don't think too much. Your team looks pretty solid to go. You'll still get green. You're sure of that. Do you think Solanke? I'm not that like sold on, but I'm not sold on any of the other picks in those positions. Why isn't anyone talking about Eze? Eze's fine. It's just those. Yeah, Eze's fine. Just the underlying numbers are not great for him. Why is no one talking about Bowen? Just played a lot of minutes last night. Maybe I should punt on a midfielder over Solanke. Who is there? I'm getting cold feet on Solanke, if you hadn't noticed. Who's predicted to be highest scoring midfielders this week? Bill players. By position, midfield. So this week... So let's look at we've got Maddison 4.7. I quite like... If I knew Iheanacho was going to start, he'd be in my draft. If I knew Iheanacho was going to start, he was going to... If I knew Iheanacho was going to start, I'd have him in my team. Lock in your team. I mean... Any current team news or leaks? Apparently the Arsenal team is fully the same and is not rotated. That's what I'm hearing. Almost 4,000 of you in here. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you have not liked as well, please also do that. I think we're pretty certain that this is roughly... I think this is where I'm going to end up. How long have I got? 1 minute and a half. His underlying numbers have been good. And he's very good for bonus because the rest of his team are not. So a return does do good bonus things for Solanke. So I might end up with him. Plus, they're going to be on a high. Andreas versus Leeds, 10 points last game. Feel free to go with Andreas, right? The Solanke spot and the Castagna spot, like, do what you want with them. They're very difficult to pick, and I may well end up with the wrong ones, but... Yeah. Why Crystal Palace defender, Anderson or Mitchell? If I had to pick one, probably Anderson. Kelechi will start. Do you think? If I knew he'd start, I'd probably end up with him. His goal scoring record is crazy good. But price changes says... And also FPL price changes. Please do not put him in my chat ever either. Sorry, did I miss some super chats? This is my team. I'm not going to change it now, I don't think. No, I didn't miss anything. Lock in my team. I mean, my team is there. But like, if you're just coming in to copy my team, then, I mean, bottled it. Tony back in for Solanke. Fair enough. I'm going with it like this. Liked and sub. Good luck. Good luck, Average Joe. Time's up. Pens down. Time is up and pens are down. Pants down. Pens down. Jacob Ramsey. By the time you're hearing this, the deadline will have passed. I think. Deadline will have passed. Thank you for all the new members as well. Make sure you DM me on Twitter if... yeah, make sure to DM me on Twitter if you've joined as a top tier member. The deadline is passed. There we go. That is my team free hit this week. Yeah, let's see. Castagna, Solanke, the two different ones there to a lot of people. I just fancy Bournemouth again this weekend, I think, which is why we ended up there. Defensively, I ended up on Castagna. Could have been Harry Suter, and if Harry Suter scores, then I will regret it. But yeah. Yeah. Am I confident about it? Not particularly, because a lot of the picks ending up the same, but we'll see what the ownership looks like when it comes back in about half an hour's time. But yeah, guys, let me know if you did anything crazy in the final few minutes. This is how we ended up. Time on the stream absolutely flew past. Bowen in and Solanke out in the last minute. Fair enough. Why did no one want Jacob Ramsey? Double Villa attack felt a bit much away at Brentford. Deadline passed in South Sudan. Deadline has passed everywhere. Harry Shooter. Well, maybe we should have gone with him. But this is where we went. This is where we ended up. This is where we ended up. One sec. What I think about Andreas. Andreas is good if you have him in your team, but the deadline is passed for all of you. Who is he? I mean, the centre-back for Leicester. Botted it and went with Tony instead of Solanke. Solanke, good choice. Eze over Solanke. It's that pick, right? That pick may be the deciding factor on how big and how well your game week goes. And maybe yeah. And if you've got the right one, well, congratulations. I hope it goes well. I hope they all score. I hope Solanke scores. I hope Tony scores. I hope Eze scores. Well, I don't really. I hope Solanke's the only one who scores. But we'll be gutted to be on the wrong end of the differentials. Yeah, but I hold my hands up and say I was on the right end of the differentials last week, and I think things can only go so badly looking at how last week went. So Zinchenko starts. Apparently the Arsenal team is the only change in the Arsenal team apparently is Zinchenko in for Tierney, but the deadline has passed, so it's too late for anyone to do anything. Kane will punish us. I mean, I didn't have him in my previous team anyway, so it is what it is. You just don't think Solanke does double digits twice in a row. That's fair enough, but just because a player did double digits one week doesn't necessarily, in theory, make him more or less likely last week, and I feel like I kind of have to have Solanke in there, don't I? Anyway, we are going to wrap up the stream now. Like and subscribe before you go, guys. Thank you all so much for the support recently. Thank you all so much. For continuing to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Good luck this week. I hope to see you all on Twitter shouting and raving when hopefully we get all those points once again. My sound shouldn't be gone. Sound is fine. I think it might be you. Good luck, everyone, this week. I'm a Chelsea fan. How am I supporting? I'm a Dominic Solanke fan. That is why. Thank you all. Good luck, everyone. And yeah, I hope your arrows are all green, especially if they are caused by Dominic Solanke. Good luck. Like and subscribe before you go. And I'll be back again very soon.